What up? My name is LaQuanda Nashay, and you have tuned in to the Selfish Chronicles. And this is not to be confused with selfish, because we don't do selfish over here. However, I'm real heavy on the self-care, and I encourage you to get you some. All right. What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Selfish Chronicles. This is, I'm happy to say, episode 5. And today's subject is taking out the trash. Okay? Taking out the trash. Basically, it's self-explanatory of what it means to take out the trash. When we take out trash, it's because things need to be threw away, right? So when we get done with garbage, we put it in the garbage can, and then when it gets full to capacity, we take it outside to the dumpster so that the garbage man can come do the rest of the work and get rid of that garbage. Okay. So we know that when garbage sits too long, it can be toxic to inhale, so it's not safe. People throw all kind of stuff away, but just think about if we left that garbage inside the house and we didn't take it out. Could you just imagine leaving your garbage and just letting it overfill, is now out of capacity with the size of the garbage can, and so now it's starting to become a pile up. And if we ignore that, we are going to have nets and just all kind of unwanted things are going to come along if we leave that trash. So when we ignore that pile up, and if we don't take it outside, if we don't put it in bags, and if we don't wrap it up and tie it up, we're going to create a problem in our household. And so this is what we do mentally with toxic things or toxic people. Whatever we are feeding our spirit, whatever we're feeding our flesh, this is what happens mentally when we don't get rid of or we don't allow ourselves to heal, and we hold on to these unhealthy things that are not good for us. It's time to take out the trash. With that being said, I want to talk about moving forward from that and not looking back. And so it's all about growth. But how do we do that? And that's what I want to talk about today. We can all agree that it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. And why is it not easy to do? A few things. One, we're not ready to let it go. Two, we don't forgive others. And most importantly, ourselves. Three, fear of change, fear of the unknown. Allowing fear to keep us back from, if I let this go, what is going to happen? And see, this is something that is subconsciously that we have in our minds, that we are not, that's not surface, and it's front and center. And we can recognize this. This is one of those deep rooted things that you have to dig into and get to the root of it so that you can pull those rotted roots and dispose of them and take them to the trash and leave them there. Now, it's not normal. Say if I'm cleaning some thighs, right? That's one of the things on the chicken. Ooh, I can't stand it. But you gotta get all the fat, right? Get all the fat off. And so we're pulling all the fat and we're cleaning it off or whatever. And we throw it in the trash, right? We put it in a bag, we throw it in the trash or whatever, right? And some people just might want to just even take it right outside and not just have it in their garbage can in the house, right? So what sense would it look like if I did that and 2 days later I said, let me go back and get that fat that I pulled off those thighs from 2 days ago? That it's not going to be any good. It's going to be smelly. It's probably going to be flies and all kind of stuff have got to it that's unhealthy. So why would I go back into the garbage and get that? But that's what we do when we don't let things go that need to be let go. People, places, and things. We need to learn how to let it go. You have to be ready. That's first. That's what I said first, right? So let's talk about being ready. There's a saying that when you get sick and tired, you get sick and tired, right? When you're tired of something and you're fed up, you ready to let it go, right? So let's talk about let's talk about people first that are no good for us, right? We have people that are toxic in our lives. And sometimes we don't want to let them go because of who they are, right? But in the word, when they came and told Jesus that his mother and his brothers were outside and they told him that they were waiting for him and they wanted him to come, Jesus told his disciples, he said, my family is those who love my Father, those who serve my Father. That's my family. And so I don't think that he was saying it to be mean or anything like that. But the point of it is just because a person carries a certain title in your life, whether it's mother, brother, sister, cousin, friend, auntie, uncle, whatever, just because somebody holds a certain title in your life does not mean that you are obligated to deal with their toxicness. You don't have to accept that because we give people the benefit of the doubt so many times, right? And people will say things, and the enemy uses anybody to get you off track, to be a distraction, to steal your joy, to steal your happiness, to steal your peace, and he will use anybody. You don't have to accept abuse. You don't have to accept being mistreated. And that is learning to set boundaries with those people. There is a saying, I will deal with you with a long handled spoon. You can still show love to people and still love people and still pray for people, but that does not mean that you have to have that close interaction with them, especially if they are being toxic and they are being unhealthy. People will cross boundaries. We cannot control what other people do, but we can control our actions. Anybody that feel like they're close to me, if they want to be toxic and think that they're going to handle me any kind of way, just because you carry that title or you are who you are, does not mean that I have to accept that from you. So I'm going to set the boundaries and I'm going to stand on business. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that because I will cut off my finger if it's toxic. Because you have to teach people and show people how to treat you. See, when I was in that relationship with that narcissist, no matter what nobody else told me or what nobody else saw, I had to get tired of it. My mother could say, oh, well, that's not good. He's no good for you. But it doesn't matter if my mother sees it. If I don't see it, I'm not going to make a change. I'm not ready to let go. And so there's a deep reason of why am I not ready to let go of toxicness? Why, when I have strength to leave one toxic relationship, I go right into another toxic relationship. So that's taking out the trash, going back into the dumpster and grabbing more trash. And we don't really understand that we walk around and hold all this trash. When somebody does something to us, are we really forgiving or are we holding on to it? We say we forgive, but that bitterness builds and it grows. We don't want to admit that we hurt people. Yes, I've been a victim, but I'm guilty of victimizing. I have hurt people's feelings too. So I'm not sitting up in here talking like, like I'm just, the victim here. No, I've been a victimizer. I've hurt people's feelings. Can we go and apologize to everybody feelings that we hurt? No, because some people we don't even know that we hurt their feelings. And if we can't forgive, how can we expect God to forgive us? It's not going to happen. What you put off, what you plant is what you're going to harvest. So if I want forgiveness from God, I have to be willing to forgive others. And people hold on to grudges. We say we don't, but really we do. Because if I have to keep replaying what somebody did to me, that means I haven't let it go all the way. I haven't let that go. That's still bothering me and I haven't dealt with it. I just threw it in the back of my mind. Oh, I forgive because God said we have to forgive, so I forgive you. Yeah, I forgive you. But your actions show differently. You're bitter. You're mean. Always on defense mode with people. If somebody constantly hurt you, you have to continue to forgive them 70 times 70. That's in the word. We make so many mistakes and we cry out and the Lord forgives us. If you murdered somebody, God will forgive you. If you rape somebody, God will forgive you. If you stole, God will forgive you. God is a forgiver. He forgives us. So us as human beings, we have to learn to forgive and let those things go. We must learn to take out the trash. Because forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for us. I'm going to forgive you for myself. Because if I don't forgive you, I'm harboring and I'm being bitter. And now that bitterness is growing and I become toxic and my actions become toxic. And this is unhealthy. This is unhealthy for me. I can't move forward from this because I haven't let it go. I have a pile of garbage inside of me that is overfilling toxic waste. And one of the biggest things, here we go, can we go a little deeper? I want to go a little deeper with you for a moment. Not only do we have a problem with forgiving others, but we have a problem with forgiving ourselves. And let's just think about that for a moment. We have a problem with forgiving ourselves. That's why people deflect so much. You mentally, subconsciously deflect on other people and you focus on other people's flaws, other people's mistakes, what other people are doing, because subconsciously you don't want to deal with yourself. And that's why self-reflection is not a popular topic. Because when you really dive into self-reflection, you're diving into the root of what the issue is, the real problem. And that's why so many people deflect off of themselves. And it's so easy for me to look at you and point out your mistakes and say, you're doing this and you're doing that. That's one of the biggest things of a narcissist. They love to deflect. They never want to focus on themselves. They never want to focus on themselves. Never. Absolutely not. It was you. You're the one who has the problem. But in actuality, all of us have some problems. But are you willing to dig deep and heal for real? Are you really ready to take out the trash? See, another part of deflecting is drinking and doing drugs, right? When you watch a movie or a TV show, now I want you to think about this and tell me if I'm lying. Anytime that there is an issue, a problem, somebody has a stressful day or anything like that, they go and have some wine or pour themselves a drink. Think about it. Think about it. Think about your favorite show. Oh, it's been a long day. And they get the glass and they pour the cognac in there and it be about that much and they take a swallow. You know, it's promoting. So we're drinking our problems away. We're drinking our issues away. And one thing that I noticed when I used to drink, because listen, that was my thing. I was a drinker. Anybody who knew me back then when I was in the world, drinking was my thing, okay? And I was so much of a drinker. See, I was a drinker, okay? I would drink by myself. And they say when you drink by yourself, you're alcoholic. But I would get up and go to work every day. hmm Did my job as I should. But I'm looking, if I don't have nothing to drink, if I done ran out the drink, I'm looking, what time is it? Ooh, I'll shoot to the liquor store. If I'm finna get out, cause see the liquor stores close at 9 from where I'm at. They close at 9, so we gotta be. Let me see. I'm gonna shoot on my break, cause I get off. I ain't gonna make it to the store, cause I want to have that drink. It's been a hard day. I deserve me a glass of wine. And if you smoke weed, ooh, I gotta unwind. This calms my nerves. This keeps me from, you know, crashing out. You know, this relaxes me, you know. And sometimes that's that ain't even enough. People go to harder drugs and things like that because yeah, we say we partying, but you ain't partying when you're unwinding or you having a problem. Uh, I gotta run to. Give me a cigarette. I'm stressed out. Y'all getting on my nerves. Give me a cigarette. And we do all this stuff to deflect. But at the end of the day, that's not solving the problem. I would drink so much, have a hangover, not feeling good, but I would do it all over again. And this was a cycle. This is what I did. And this solved none of my problems and actually made them worse. Because all that liquor ain't good for your liver. I'm damaging my organs. Smoking, I'm damaging my lungs. This is not healthy for me physically. So I'm hiding a problem and adding another problem. You see how when you say it out loud, how it's toxic? Because we don't want to dive deep into the roots of ourselves and really take out the trash. Any change that's going to be healthy for you is good. If you stop smoking cigarettes, that is good for your health. If you stop drinking, that is good for your health. See, those are good changes because they're going to bring a positive impact to your health. Forgiving people and forgiving yourself is going to bring a positive impact to your mental health. Do you know that when you hold on to bitterness and you're mean and upset and angry, do you know those are the sickest people? That really affects it not only your mental, but it affects other organs in your body. It affects your heart. And so that's why the enemy wants to keep us distracted from the truth, wants us not to let go, wants us to be vengeful. Well, they did this to me, so I'm going to do this to them. A tit for a tat. If somebody do wrong to you and you do wrong back to them, guess what? You reaped those seeds. So guess what? That's going to come back onto you. Don't you know that that's a never ending cycle and that's not going to get you anywhere? When you go around in a circle and you keep going like this, how are you growing? You're going in a circle. When are we going to take out the trash and take a step forward? You're walking to your car and you're taking one step in front of the other. We're not walking backwards to get to the car. When you want to get to a destination, you got to walk up to something. If I go in the store and I want to grab a bag of chips, I got to walk up to the bag of chips. I'm moving forward. You don't walk backwards. The only time we walk backwards, check this out. When you get in your car in your rearview mirror, the rearview mirror is a device that we use so that we can reflect on what's behind us. When we got to back out of a parking space, the only reason why we driving backwards and looking back is to make sure we don't hit nothing. When they came and the angels came to before they were destroying Sodom, they told Lot's wife not to look back, and she looked back anyway. But it wasn't that she was looking back to say bye. She was looking back because she didn't want to let go. My home, everything is back there. My whole life is back there. Everything, things are holding on back there. And she turned into a pillar of salt. And when you look up what salt does to your heart, it gives you high blood pressure. Too much salt intake gives you high blood pressure. Guess what high blood pressure leads to? Stroke, heart attack, death. It's not healthy for you. When Jesus healed people and he asked the man at the water, do you want to be made whole? He was at the water and he was laying there, and they said that if you can get to the water, this was the water, and the angels came down, and if you get to the water, you will be healed. But the man that was disabled, he could not get into the water. He was just laying on his bed on the sideline, and Jesus walked up to him and he asked him, "Do you want to be made whole?" And he said, I've been trying to get in the water, but people have been getting in my way. And he was just coming up with all these excuses. And Jesus, do you want to be made whole? See, I ain't asking you about all that. I ain't asking you what happened. I'm not asking you why you couldn't get in the water. I'm asking you, do you want to be made whole? That's the question. And he said, yes. And he said, pick up your bed and walk. See, when you make your bed, you lie in it. Trust and believe. God can see us and he already knows our faults, our mistakes, everything that we did. He knows the stuff that we did that we ain't told nobody, all our dark secrets, everything that we got. He's not asking you what you did. He's asking you, do you want to be made whole? Do you want to move forward? And we have to, are we ready to let go? Are we ready to forgive ourselves and forgive others? Are we ready to remove and let go of toxic people and toxic things? Do we want to take out the trash, or do we want to keep the trash in our house and just let it keep overfilling, and we keep eating from the trash, digging in the trash, going back in the trash? See, I was ready. I wanted to be made whole. I was ready to let go of anything and everything when I started to build my relationship with Christ. When I started to come out and crawl out of that hole that I had put myself in. When I had got tired of beating myself up, Jesus was ready for me to grab his hand, because all he asked me was, do you want to be made whole? And once I was ready, he began to strip me. See, I was still reading my word, and I was still going to the liquor store. Listen, I'm not saying that everything is going to drop off you today. That might happen. That might be your situation. But in most of our cases, no, it's not, because we have to be ready. See, when I wanted to get closer to God, I had to realize that if I want him to dwell in my temple comfortably, I have to stop feeding my flesh and start feeding my spirit. I had to let that bottle go. My connection with Christ was started to become more important. See, he says, be renewed in me. And my perception started to change. My priorities started to change. And I started to realize that this alcohol is only drowning my sorrows. This alcohol is only keeping me stuck in this hole. I can't be all the way free. And I was ready to break out of that cage. I was ready to break out those chains that had me bound. I was ready to be set free. So as I started to take out the trash, I started to let things go. I started to learn not only to forgive others, but to forgive myself. I started to realize that if I keep dwelling on the narcissist, if I keep dwelling on the hurtful things that he did, I was not going to be able to move forward, because that was still holding me back. I had to take out the trash. And so today, I encourage you, take out the trash. And the only time you need to reflect on what's behind you is because you still need to be watchful. You still need to go be watchful. I need to see when I'm driving in the car, when we driving in our car, right? And we going forward. We on the highway. We going forward. We got to look behind us. We got to make sure the cars, you ain't coming up too close to me. See, when, oh, Jesus. See, when the narcissist, when you try to come back to me, I need to make sure that you ain't getting too close to me. I need to switch lanes. I'm learning how to maneuver. I'm learning how to be watchful of them old things that might try to come back. Oh, I ride past a liquor store. You remember when you used to stop here? No, I don't. I'm free from that, because guess what? I already been there, done that. I already know what that's gonna do. That ain't doing me no good. That ain't helping me move forward. So I'm gonna ride past the liquor store smiling like, yeah, you in my rear view mirror. Because I just rolled past you and I'm moving forward. And when I look in my reflector, it lets me know of what I left behind. But I'm not stuck there, because I'm moving forward. So we have to learn how to take out the trash. Let the garbage mans deal with it. When we lay all our burdens at the feet of Jesus, When the lady cried out, when the prostitute cried out to Jesus, and she was crying and she was laying it all down, she was putting the burdens all at his feet. She dumped out all of the trash, and Jesus took it to the disposal, and he got rid of it, and it's gone. Because when we take our trash out to the dumpster, the garbage man comes and takes it, and it's gone. And now our trash can is empty. And now we can continue to allow God to strip us so that we can grow, so that we can be healthy mentally, physically, and that we can move forward and not look back. And so you guys, stay encouraged. Until next time, peace.